Hello pilots and ground crew, welcome back to my channel. Well, from the thumbnail you'll already know what this is. It's another GEPRC frame, right, and it's the CinePro 4K HD. Now, I'm doing this video in two parts. I'm telling you right from the beginning there's going to be no flights in this video. That'll be in part two. I'll try and keep them as close together as I possibly can. I don't mean I'll do this and then 6 weeks later I'll show you the flights. But the reason why I've done that is because there's quite a few things I want to talk about this quad, right? And if I put flights on the end, because I also want to be testing the flights, the footage and everything, and the video would just go on way too long. So I thought I'd start off with a general unboxing, just so that if you order these, you see basically how they come, right? And as I've said in many of my videos, because if you're a subscriber you know I love GEPRC. I think they make the best frames, full stop. Right, but that's, well, actually I was about to say that's just my opinion, but it's not. There's a lot of people out there who will agree with me. Right, and as I've said before, if you get a box like this in the post you are assured of quality. This all comes in heat shrink wrapping and in a separate box of its own. Got a nice thick bit of padding, and what I've started to like about these quads, right, is the heat shrink them. But we'll come back to that in a second. I'll just show you real quick. You get, obviously you get props on the quad, but you get a spare set of props. You get a lipo strap, which ain't that great unfortunately. Upgrade that, but for slow flying, for Cine Whoop flying, right, and getting your cine shots, that'll be fine. You get some spare tubing for your antennas, and you get some extra little padding to put underneath if you want. You'll obviously get some stickers. I got mine with the MMCX. I'll rephrase that. I got mine with the R9MM antenna on. Right, but you can get different antennas, but because I got mine with it, by the looks of this, yeah, they've actually sent some instructions for that particular antenna, but you can get them without the antenna. I'll go into that a bit later. Like I said, some spare props, stickers, some information cards where you can get some information, some websites and stuff, and a frequency chart and information about setting your VTX manually by pressing the buttons, but most people nowadays will do it in the tramp protocol on your transmitter and in your goggles. Right, let's just move that out the road. Okay then, the quad. Right, if you haven't seen one of these on YouTube before, the first thing you might notice is the frame looks slightly familiar, right? And it is because it's a very, very almost identical frame to the 3-inch GEPRC Signet, right? In fact, the width of the body is almost identical, but what they've done is the arms, they've made them a lot shorter. Right, and they've actually upgraded the carbon fibre to 3K carbon fibre. Right, but because this is more of a 2-inch, right, well it's a little bit bigger than a 2-inch, right, but you could actually still call this a 3-inch, right, but yeah, so it's the same sort of body frame, and I'm really happy about that. That's one of the reasons why I got it, because I love this quad. This is my go-to 3-inch quad. I absolutely love it. That's where them little foam bits come in that I mentioned, just to stick on, just to raise things up, a little bit of padding, little bits of foam. But no, I love this quad. It is awesome. Anyway, it's not about this one, so I'll put that one down and come back here. I'm going to take this out the bubble wrap, the heat shrink in a moment. Alright, but I'm going to do a jump shot to that, because once I've took it out I'm going to check every single nut and ball, make sure every single nut is tight, and if there's anything loose I'll tell you. Alright, but before I mention that, I want to go on to the props, alright, because I want to get some out the bloody road. On this particular model, like on a lot of Cine Whoops, right, the props are spinning outwards rather than the traditional way of spinning in. Now I've heard people numerous times on YouTube like saying, oh yeah, well what it does is it helps with the balance and it helps with this and it's for this and it's for that. Well look, that's a load of bullshit. I'm sorry to be blunt, but it don't do a damn bloody thing, right? It's just a gimmick, so to speak. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever if your props are spinning out or if your props are spinning the traditional way in. However, there is an exception. If you're flying a model without prop guards, without the prop guards, right, I'll show you on this one. This one spins in, right. It can help slightly if you hit a twig or a branch, because if you imagine in this position right now, I haven't got anything to show you with, so I'll use my finger. If I happen to fly into a branch, because the props are spinning inwards, it's going to suck the branch in and it could get twisted into the motor. Whereas with a prop spinning out, if you hit a branch, it'll knock the prop, it'll knock the branch out the road in theory. That does work better with a 5-inch quad, right, because the props are bigger and there's more of a chance of knocking the branches out of the road, right. So there is that rule of thumb with a prop spinning out on a bigger model with no prop guards. But with prop guards it don't make a bleeding bit of difference, so forget what you've heard about stability and this and that. That's a load of bullshit. Right, I wanted to clear that up straight away because it's been bugging me. Right, let's get this heat shrink off. Right, I'll check all the screws, all the nuts and bolts, and whichever ones are loose, right, I will tell you, because it's something you should always check with all models. Right, and then I want to talk about everything that's inside it, right, and one or two extra bits. Okay then, quick jump shot while I get this out of the wrapping. Alright then, I've been through everything, right, and I'm not going to lie to you, right, this one prop nut here was a little bit loose, right, and underneath, which one was it? I think it was that one actually. This one little nut going into the aluminium front was a little bit loose, right, but just them two, that was it. Everything else was snugged up perfectly, right. But it's to be expected. The quality control with GEPRC is, well, I can't say 100% because I found two tiny little nuts that were a bit loose, so I'll say 99.9%, right, but usually 100%, probably just a tiny little accident there. Right, as I mentioned, the aluminium at the front, just for you people that will ask, right, it's 70-75 aviation aluminium. Okay, so we've done that bit because I know somebody will ask, so I'll just skip over that bit. Right, I want to go through the numbers, shall we say, one thing at a time. For some reason with this they've supplied a little whip antenna with an MMCX connector. Now usually they have really good antennas on these, however in all the reviews and videos I've watched with this flying, right, it makes no difference, it works awesome. Andy RC, right, loves this frame. In fact, to quote him, if you're into this hobby, right, and you're serious about this hobby, you must own one of these models, right. That's quoting Andy RC, and he said this little whip antenna, right, worked great, and it seemed to work great for him. So I'll be leaving it, testing it. If I'm not happy when I do the flight video, I will tell you. Right, don't worry about that, I'll tell you. Okay then, right, through the numbers as we said. I got this one with an, I won't say it again, I nearly said MMCX, with an R9M, right, receiver, right, for the R9M module, but you can get it without a receiver, you can get it with all different types of receivers. I will leave a picture up now if I remember, but it comes with all different receivers, right, or like I said, without a receiver. Okay, talking about the guts, it's an F7 flight, it's an sorry, it's a Stable Pro F7 flight control board, right, with dual gyros. That's 2 gyros built in, and it also has a 32 megabyte black box. But like I said, it's an, I don't know why I'm pointing at this side, it's over here. It's an F7, it's actually just in the middle there. F7 flight control board. Now you can get the basic version of this that comes with the F4 flight control board, but because this is the Cine Pro, right, it comes with the F7 flight control board with dual gyros. And apparently, now a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but notice I said the words apparently, as in not I know, because I haven't flown it yet. But apparently it's the best Cine Whoop on the market, right, and the most stable, for 2 reasons. One, it'll be to do with the dual gyro, but 2, it's not just a Cine Whoop, right? You can race with this quad, you can do freestyle with this quad, and you can do acro freestyle, acro and freestyle. It's the same bloody thing, George. You know what I mean, right? And you don't have to take the prop guards off, even though these prop guards are removable and replaceable. However, they seem very, well, they've got some give, but they seem very, very strong. So I don't think you're ever going to break them unless you fly head first or straight into a solid brick wall. But they are very strong prop guards. But like I said, they are replaceable. 4 screws for your motors. Take them out, put a new prop guard on, screw everything back in again. Or if you want, leave the prop guards off. Right, you don't have to have them on. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, I have heard it's the best Cine Whoop for them reasons. It's rock steady for your filming, right? And it will also do acro and everything really easily because it hasn't got them huge bloody big ducts that a lot of them come with. So we shall see, right? I haven't flown here yet, right? We shall see. Plus really, to make a statement like that when I've heard other people say it's the best one you can fly, really that's not fair, right? Because there's a lot out, and also you would personally have to fly every single Cine Whoop that's out on the market to actually say that, and a lot of people don't. However, it's meant to be. Justin Davis, Drone Camp RC, I've already mentioned Andy RC, right, say it's spot on, awesome. Right, on top of the flight control board, the VTX, right, it's a 48 channel VTX, and it has pit mode, right, because like I said, you can use this for racing, so really you do want pit mode, right, because the last thing you want to do is power up your bloody model, right, if somebody else is flying. You need to make sure it's in pit mode. Right. Hey George, yeah, right, there's a guy, Big G, he's changed his name to Big G. He had that problem flying, somebody powered up a quad and blasted him out of the sky and he crashed. But I digress. Yeah, so it's got pit mode, right, in the VTX, 25 milliwatts, 100 milliwatts, 200 milliwatts, 400 milliwatt VTX, and even 500 milliwatts VTX. Right, so this will be awesome for if you go behind a brick wall or something, which is why I got the R9M receiver, right? Not because I want to be flying super long range, but in case I'm behind anything dense, I don't want to fail safe. So yeah, the VTX goes from pit mode all the way up to 500 milliwatts. And at the bottom we have the ESCs, sorry, bit of a tickly throat today. We have the ESCs, and they're the BL Heli 32 ESCs, and they're rated from 2 cell to 6 cell. However, for the most stable flight, this is recommended for 4 cell, right? However, once again, you can fly this indoors. That's how stable it is. You can fly this indoors, which will be part of the test I will be doing. Alright, but for indoor flying, they recommend a 3 cell lipo. Okay, so 4 cell for outside, and for the perfect balance, they recommend 4 cell 650. Right, but you can go up to 850 if you want. In fact, like I said, you can go all the way up to 6 cell. Right, the ESC support D-Shot 1200 and also Pro Shot. So, you know what I mean, the thing is, it's to be expected, right, from a stable stack, GEPRC stable stack. In fact, even the VTX at 25 milliwatts, you'll probably get loads of range because they are such good quality gear. Okay, moving on to the front, the camera. Right, it's the Cadex Tarsier. I always want to say Tarzan. Right, Tarzan and Jane. It's the Cadex Tarsier, which is a twin. Now it comes with a little lens cap. Right, a twin camera, right, and you've got your FPV and your HD. Right, and I've already mentioned the HD goes up to 4K. There are different resolutions. I will leave a bit of information, some sort of image up with all the different resolutions of the camera. But yeah, it goes up to 4K. The Cadex Tarsier. Now the thing with this is, right, and I want to thank Andy RC for this because I did not know this and I'd have done it wrong. Right, if you just put your SD card in, it won't work. You have to format it, and you format it through the app. Now before anyone says, well, of course you format it, the thing is, what you have to do with your SD card first is format it on your PC, then put it into your model and format it in the Cadex app. Right, because on here you can't see it. Right, there's a little antenna, and it's Bluetooth, which we all love Bluetooth. Let's be honest, Bluetooth, that's it. You see anything with Bluetooth, you buy it, don't you guys? Let's be honest. Oh, it's got Bluetooth on, I want it. It's a new comb to comb your hair, but it's got Bluetooth, I have to buy it. Anyway, yeah, so it's a Bluetooth, there's no cabling, no nothing. You just get your phone, right, or your tablet or whatever, right, the Cadex app, go into it, you can change all your camera settings, right, auto record, your balance, your size, you can change all your camera settings all through an app on Bluetooth. And in that app you also format your card afterwards. Now because it's 4K, you need a bloody good SD card, right, and I'm using the Extreme Pro. Once again, I'll put a picture up, right, make it easier for everyone to see it. The Extreme Pro 64 gig. I could have used the 32 gig, but I bought the 64. Right, a U3, which is absolutely important if you want to record in 4K for you to watch back on your TVs and stuff in super high definition. Absolutely important to get 4K. A U3 card, like I said, hopefully you've seen the picture now. Oh, what else have we got? I think we're just about there actually. Oh no, we haven't discussed the motors. I apologise. Right, they are the 1105 motors, 5000 kV. Alright, now apparently the 5000 kV on these 1105 are the perfect sweet spot for 4 cell and 3 cell lipos, which, as I've already said, recommended 4 cell for outdoor use, 3 cell for indoor use. So there's the motors. At the back side of the quad, which you won't see, but buried in there's a capacitor, and on this side there's a built-in buzzer. So you've already got a buzzer built in, an emergency buzzer. Now I believe that is that. Now, have I found anything so far I don't like about this? Actually, yes, I have. One thing. Now, I thought if anybody, any company on the planet was going to do this, right, it'd be GEPRC, right, but they haven't, and it's a shame in my opinion. Right, there's no GPS. It just would have been nice to have had a GPS, right, built into this somewhere, right, just in case you are flying a little bit further away, right, and for some reason you feel safe or whatever. It would have just been nice to have GPS built in, but it hasn't. But I would have thought if anyone's going to GEPRC would have done. The antenna, while I'm here, the actual receiver part is just there, just inside the model. You can get at the band button really easy, and no matter which one you come with, I've noticed either the receiver's on top where you can get at the band button, you can always get at the band button. Now I know a few people is going to ask about the weight, so I'll just do a quick jump shot, get my scales, and we'll weigh it. Okay then, jump shot. And I'm back with the scales, but there are two things I forgot to mention. The camera, right, you can set it up to a variety of frame rates. It's not just 4K, there's 1080p. I'll tell you what, once again I'll put another little picture up, right, with all the different frame rates, so you can just pause the video, go through them and have a quick look. Although I'll leave plenty of information in the description as well. And there is one more very important thing which could be classed as a downside, right, before I weigh it for you. The F4 flight controller, when the battery is plugged in, it does gradually start to get quite warm, right? For any reason, if you're going to leave the battery plugged in for a long period of time, which you shouldn't, but for quite a long period of time, say you're setting it up in beta flight and you need to plug the battery in for some reason, and you're new, so it's taking you a long time to set it up in beta flight. Even though this comes fully set up in beta flight, all ready for you, you can basically, it's band your transmitter and go flying. You don't really almost have to go into beta flight apart from to set up one or two tiny things. But if you happen to have your battery plugged in and you're in beta flight and it's taking you a long time, it's recommended you put some sort of fan onto the quad just to keep the flight control board cool. But there is another way around doing that. If you know you're going to be a while with your battery plugged in, go into your settings in beta flight and go to where you set your PIDs. It's in the, not the command line, the control settings I believe. Alright, but where your PID looping frequency, I'll put a picture up again, where your PID looping frequency is, set your PID looping frequency to 1. Set it down to number 1 while you do it, and that'll keep the board cool. Right, and while you're doing all your other settings and messing about, and just remember when you finish, bring that back up again. Okay, just a little tip for you. But yeah, it does start to get quite warm, that flight control board, if you just leave it sat. You won't notice it getting hot at all if you're flying about, even indoors, because obviously the air from the props and everything keeps it cool. But if you just leave it plugged in and sat there, right, it will start to get warm. So either stick a fan on it or drop your PID loop frequency down to number 1 while you're messing about with it. Okay then, let's turn on these scales. Right, I can't even see if that's zeroed. Yes it is. Can you see that? We'll check in a minute. Putting that on there. Hang on here, can't see a bloody thing. Yeah. Alright, I've zeroed it out, that on there, because these scales are only little, as you can see. Alright, I'll try zooming in a bit so you can see a bit better. The frame itself comes in, I can't even see on this angle, it looks like 130 gram to me. In fact, you'll be able to see better. Right, if I zoom right in, I can actually see on the camera better from here. Yeah, 130, is it 0.6, somewhere around there. Right, and if I stick the recommended, right, 4-cell 650 lipo on, she now comes in at 200 gram, is that? Just over 200 gram by the looks of it. So well below the 250 mark, right, the sweet spot. And like I did say, you can actually fly this with an 850, right, an 850 size 4-cell lipo. So let's see what this comes in at with the 850 on, zooming back in again. 234, is that 230? Yeah, 234. So we are still way under the 250 gram mark for where we all have to be because of the new bloody laws and blah 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 blah. So anyway, but yeah, so you're sub 250 no matter which one of them you're using, not both of them at once. Alright, but if you're using the 650 4 cell, you're way under. If you're using the 850 4 cell, you're still under 250. Alright, so I've got quite a few of these, so I will probably use the 850 for when I'm freestyling and rocking her about. When I do the flight video, I will tell you, I'll leave captions up of exactly which battery I'm using and everything, and if I do have a problem with this whip antenna, I'll mention it, don't worry about that. But yeah, I'll use the 850 for freestyle flying and pushing it and stuff, and I'll use the 650 as recommended for the most stable flight. And one last thing, she handles the wind pretty nice actually, because of the footprint. It is thin. It's almost, actually it's roughly the same thickness as that lipo. You know what I mean? That lipo practically hides the frame, right? This little 4-cell 650. So if you own a 4-cell 650 lipo, look at the side of it, and that's roughly the footprint, right? So she handles the wind quite well. Now, not picking on you lot with Cine Whoops, right, with the big ducks, but that's one of the things with the big ducks. There's more area to hit the wind, so you can have more problems on a windy day getting blown about a little bit. But because these prop guards, micro ducts, whatever you want to call them, are so thin, and let's be honest, a prop guard only has to cover the prop, full stop. Right, she will handle the wind quite well. Now, I don't mean 60-70 mile an hour bloody winds, but reasonable amount of winds. Right. Okay then, right, so that is it. That's everything covered, and as I said, you know now why I'm not putting a flight on the end of this, because this video has gone on for quite long enough, and the flight footage will be coming up, well, maybe tomorrow, maybe in just a day or two. All depends on when I can get out and fly, because as I've said, I've just got this unboxed. Alright, I believe I've told you the camera rates. If I didn't, I'll leave another picture up. I've told you, left information about the different receivers you can get, the recommended by me SD card to use. Well, not just me actually, Andy RC recommended that SD card, so recommended by me and Andy RC. And the warning about lowering your PID loop frequency if you're leaving your battery in too long. So that's basically everything covered. So now I'm going to get all bound up to my transmitter, get the SD card formatted, and let's have a flight. Now, unfortunately, when I do post the flights, right, thank you YouTube, but as we know, we can record this in 4K, but you're not going to get a 4K quality image when you watch it back on YouTube, because they always knacker up the actual the rates. Right, you can record some at 1080p 60 frames and you should do okay, but that's about the highest YouTube go really before they start making too many adjustments. However, it's not just about uploading to YouTube. If you've had a really good flight and you filmed it in 4K and you want to keep it forever, you can watch it back on your own television in 4K and you'll see all the deal. But you will notice a difference filming in 4K and uploading to YouTube rather than filming in 1080p 30 frames and uploading to YouTube. You will notice a difference, so it's always best, if you can, to film at a higher rate, because YouTube are going to gobble a little bit of it up. Okay then, pilots and ground crew, thanks for watching. There she is, the Cine Pro 4K by GEPRC. Cadex Tarsier F7 flight control board, up to 500 milliwatts VTX, and with a mass of different antennas or none at all that she comes with. Right then, I'm going to leave it there, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've just come across this channel, hit the little bell. If you've enjoyed this video and you can't wait to see the flights, hit the little notification bell, right, just to the right of the thumbs up, thumbs down, and then you'll know as soon as I posted the video with the flights and the information, right, indoors, outdoors and things like that. And information about this little antenna, because I may swap this out, but it may be good enough, I don't know yet. Right then pilots, thanks for watching and cheers.